economics, water, and public safety. And when I say public safety, I'm not talking about fire and police. That's the obvious public safety statement made. When I'm talking about public safety, I'm talking about the responsibility of any local government to provide health and safety. The biggest providers of health and safety in this city and in most cities really is the Public Works Department. Clean water, wastewater, all those things that can affect your health, they're doing. Fire and police are the first responders. That's a whole different thing. When the system collapses, we call those folks. So we have to focus on public safety. We have to focus on economics. Now, when I talk about economics, I'm not just talking about money in, money out. When I'm talking about economics, it goes back to what I just mentioned a few minutes ago. We have to start thinking of things holistically. Now, there are issues that are involved, and when I brought up water, water is one of them. I still do not have a firm understanding of the water situation, and I have talked to a dozen different people. And the reason I say that is because you get both extremes depending on which side you're on. What I do, are we going to talk about water later? I didn't want to get into it if we are. If we look at water independently, we still don't have an answer. If we're going to meet safe yield by 2025, it's going to be 5 more years before Salt River Project is finished with the study. That's 2020. Then we have to wrestle with $150 to $200 million funding source that we're going to share with Prescott Valley to bring water into the city. We don't know, first of all, that that's going to go through. Whoa. And secondly, we don't know that the voters would approve it. So there are contingencies that at some point I'd like to talk about if we have a chance, but if not, we have to start looking at those things at a greater level. That's what I prefer to do. That's what I want to do with council. Thank you.
First of all, I think economic development is extremely important to our community. I think there's 3 aspects of that I'd like to talk about. First of all is expanding the airport. I'd like to improve our air service there and also get more commercial development out there. We need more jobs and we need high-tech jobs. We got a lot of kids today coming out of schools who don't have jobs, they have to leave it. I know I left there in '67, so, but at least I came back. I think also that we need to bring in high-tech jobs. I think that's important. We have kids coming out of college that, you know, would like to get a better paying job rather than a service job. So I think that's another aspect. The last thing is a biomass extraction facility here to try and thin our forest and improve our aquifer, get more water in the aquifer, and also to cut down on disease and insect infestations in our forest. The second thing, of course, is the PSPRS. Basically, right now, it's unsustainable. If we try and put people into the PSPRS right now, I think that's unfair to them. I think there has to be some work on that. There's very little we can do here at the city level except to pay the bill. It's really going to take something at the state legislature, but we need to keep the pressure from Prescott on the state legislatures to do something. The last thing, of course, is drug rehab. I think we have that whole issue has a tendency to fracture the basic dynamics of our city. Probably the 2 things that I get the most discussion on when I'm out talking to people is PSPRS and drug rehab. And drug rehab right now, I think, needs to have some focus on it, and I would be willing to set up a task force that looks at various aspects of gathering information so that we can give Noel Campbell the information he needs to get this to the legislature and get something done. Thank you.